Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called What Careers Are Best for Remote or Teleworking? So recent events have changed the entire corporate landscape in dramatic ways. Companies have come to realize something very, very significant. They used to frown on teleworking. They thought it was just a way for slacker employees to go home and pretend to put in an 8-hour shift, and they thought that their ability to supervise their work was diminished by not having them on site. And management felt a bit disconnected from their employees. They couldn't oversee them as diligently and as carefully as they would like. Uh, but then, recent events took over and changed everything. What happened, of course, as everybody knows, is a lot of people who could work from home decided to work remotely or telework, as they say. And more Fortune 500 companies, including Twitter and many others, decided that they're going to do this on an ongoing basis, even after this pandemic passes. So what's changed? What's changed is that a lot of corporations have realized that their employees are far more productive working out of their homes than they thought they would. They're finding that when you eliminate the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 hour commute time to work every day, that employees will actually spend part of that time on their work, so that they thought they'd be putting in a 6 or 7 or 8 hour workday, but they're finding out now that employees don't have to commute. They're putting in 8, 9, even 10-hour workdays, and they're doing it willingly because they feel as though no longer needing to commute has somehow refreshed them, revitalized them, given them more energy and enthusiasm about what they're doing. There are some people who commute 2 or 3 times a day, and that just drains them. That's 15. Some people commute 20 hours a week. Silicon Valley employees used to commute 2, 3 times an hour, 2, 3 hours in each direction, depending on how far out of San Francisco they resided. Since nobody can afford to pay rent in San Francisco or own a home unless they have, equity in their company, then they were forced to locate at quite a geographic distance from their actual work building. Now that's no longer the case. Another thing that's changed now that companies are allowing teleworking and telecommuting, is that employees that used to locate, an hour or two away from their jobs and then drive in, now that they're no longer geographically tethered to their place of employment, now that their companies have given them the green light to go ahead and remote work from whatever location they'd like, a lot of these guys are now moving out of state. Why spend $5,000 a month on rent in San Francisco just so you can be within half an hour of work, when you can move to the Midwest or the South, and you can purchase a home, a mansion, and your mortgage payment will be $2 or $3 or $4,000 a month, and you'll be building equity in a new home. Your quality of life will be much better. Everybody knows how San Francisco and Los Angeles have, imploded into this post-apocalyptic state where the quality of life is horrific. The police don't respond. The crime is skyrocketed. All these events have made commuting to and from work much more perilous. So a lot of these people, they're moving out of state now with their employer's blessing. So before I begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, follow, and comment on the show. Also, I want to tell you about a service called Hollywood is Calling. It allows you to purchase live calls with more than 100 celebrities. You can purchase a live 15-second call from your favorite movie star for $19.95. And you can purchase a live 30-second call from your favorite TV star for $29.95. There are lots of movie stars, TV stars, and athletes to choose from. And you can purchase a gift for yourself or you can purchase a gift call for somebody you care about, or you can just have our celebrities call people you love on their birthdays, on the holidays, and just say hello and wish them well. It is a great gift idea. So give it a try. It's called HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now let's get started. So because of all the recent changes in the marketplace, people have been asking us, what are good occupations, what are good professions to enter or to work in that will allow for telecommuting and remote working? Are there professions which are more open to that than others? And the answer is absolutely there are. So because so many people would prefer to work this way, we've put together a list of occupations and careers that will be very open to your doing just that, working out of your home. The first is the computer industry. Now, this industry in the past has tried to embrace remote working, and management just didn't like it. You know, they had a very old school view of things. They wanted to stand over the shoulders in the office of their programmers, watch them all day long, crack the whip, make sure that they were working at their computer screens diligently and passionately. You know, all that old school nonsense. And recent events have changed all of that. Now, a lot of these companies are actually encouraging their employees to work from home. So, what are the jobs that the computing industry has a tremendous number of openings for that they'll allow you to work out of your home while doing? Well, programming, data entry, project management, management in general, remote customer service. All these jobs can be done remotely, and they are being done remotely by tens of thousands of people now who weren't allowed to do them previously. Next, we have professions working for call centers. There are a lot of companies that hire people to do their call center work remotely now. Now, back in the day, you had to go to a large building with hundreds of tables and hundreds of phones and desks, and they would field incoming calls from people all over the place. They'd answer the phone and try and address the needs of these clients and customers, and that's no longer necessary because of all the digital and virtual technology out there. These call centers have been shut down. The enormous leases on these call centers, those are no longer necessary. All the overhead of running these physical call centers, that's gone. Um, Most of this is now being done remotely. And companies like Amazon, they're now hiring tons of people to work at their to work on their call center technology. And these people are getting paid $10 to $12 an hour to sit in their kitchens and answer the phone on Amazon's behalf. It's tremendously convenient. Another company that hires a lot of remote workers is the Home Shopping Network. They're hiring a ton of people to do inbound call center work. You know, whenever somebody calls in, they see a purse or a makeup kit on the Home Shopping Network that they want to buy, and they call that 800 number. Most of the time, the people answering, they're sitting in their kitchens or in their dining rooms, and they're answering those calls from their homes, and the customer who's being taken care of over the phone has no idea. It all happens seamlessly and very professionally. Now, this call center industry used to be dominated by foreign workers in India and Pakistan, and many of the Fortune 500 companies used to love using those workers because of the tremendous cost savings. But the backlash from customers and clients who would deal with these people on the phone and couldn't understand their English, couldn't understand their thick accents, and considered it to be anti-American to be hiring so many foreigners when they felt that Americans needed the jobs. The backlash was so tremendous that the vast majority of these people These Fortune 500 companies started moving their call centers back to the United States, and they started using um, digital technology and American employees, and and it's all been rather seamless ever since then. So the transition has been quite effective for them, and it's helped their public reputations as well. Now, another industry is the outbound sales call industry. A lot of companies employ a tremendous number of sales staff, sales representatives. You know, whether it's for B2B sales or sales to brands or sales to customers or clients. All of that stuff is very phone and laptop intensive. And there's no need to sit in a cubicle, in some corporate center to conduct that business. A lot of that stuff can now be conducted virtually and digitally from your living room. The next profession is the medical billing and medical coding profession. Medical billers convert doctors' notes into billing codes that allow for the digital processing of healthcare bills. You know, every time you go to the doctor and a month later you get a statement and it shows you all these medical codes, most of which are indecipherable and unintelligible to the average consumer. Well, all of that is performed by an army of medical billers and medical coders. I once knew a woman who started out as a medical billing employee and then later started her own medical billing company. And she went from earning $60,000 a year as a medical biller, and then she started making $700,000 and $800,000 a year running her own medical billing company, and she had a number of medical billers working for her. Now, interestingly enough, this is a career which does not require a degree. Oftentimes, it doesn't even require certification. It's one of those few professions that doesn't require years and years of training and a great deal of government regulation. So that's also an option. So here are some companies that you can look into for for the medical billing opportunity. One is the United Health Group, and the other is Humana. And these companies have a lot of opportunities for at-home work positions in medical billing and coding. Another industry is the web designer and graphic design industry. There's tremendous demand now for web designers and developers because so many people in small and mid-sized companies need help with their online presence. These occupations can often be done from home. Freelancers who want to become web designers can also find a lot of freelance jobs for that sort of work on websites like freelancer.com, upwork.com, and fiverr.com. There's also a large profession called teaching English as a second language, or TESL as it's called. Now, you would have thought that with Google translation technology, that there would no longer be much of a demand for this, but just the opposite is true. Teaching English as a second foreign language is a profession that is very popular, and its popularity is increasing, especially with families in Asia and the Middle East. Online teaching sites like QKids, VIP Kid, and AL07 are great places to start. Often they will only take Native American speakers that are also citizens of the United States. And also, TESL employers do not require certifications, and teachers wanting to teach English can often make $20 an hour working from their computers at home. So with that, I want to wish you good luck and thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon.